All right, everyone. Today's video is going to be a mobility sequence. So this shouldn't take very long. I mean, you can do it for 10 minutes, you can do it 15, maybe 20 even. But it hits different corners of the hips, different corners of the shoulders, and some thoracic mobility. And so this is a good thing to put in kind of in between Zoom meetings or in between whatever you're doing throughout the day or the homeschooling. I know you all have missed my handwriting at the gym, so lucky you, you get to see it during this isolation period. Mobility sequence today is going to be 10 minutes, like I said, frog stretch, floor slide, Pretzel, and kneeling hip flexor. So let me go through that. I'm going to stand this right here. And the first one's a frog stretch. This is kind of our tried and true classic hip mobility. You're going to spread your legs apart kind of in this kneeling split here. Your knees are kind of going to be right above your heels. Get down onto your forearms. Walk your forearms forward. Remember, when we're doing mobility or any sort of stretching like this, just stop when it starts to feel like you can't go any further. Don't push it into any sort of danger zone. And you just kind of walk backwards, okay? So once your body says, well, that's enough, just stop there. You can kind of hold that end range, as we say. You can kind of bounce back and forth a little bit, find little different corners of the hips. You can kind of come forward again. Again, splaying those hips open a little bit further if you can. Breathe into it. Come back. You might even felt like you went a little bit deeper that time. Come forward again. Again, about 60 seconds or so should do it. And come back. Okay, that was the frog stretch. Floor slides. This one's just going to be... you can also do it on your wall as well. I kind of like doing it on the floor. I don't really have wall space to do it in here. But we're just going to do, make sure you tuck your ribs close to your waist. That's going to smush your lower back into the ground here. And so you're going to prevent that rib flare where you can kind of cheat this thing. So you're going to tuck those ribs in, kind of pretend like this is the wall or really the floor is just fine. You're going to put your hands out like this. Elbows at 90 degrees. The forearms are going to be on the ground or on the wall. And you're trying to keep them as close to the wall or the ground as possible while maintaining shape in your lumbar spine. So you go down or up, back down, and you're just rotating and moving those scapulae back and forth. Okay, and if some of you have bad shoulder mobility like me, right about here, I kind of have to come up off the ground a little bit. It's kind of hard to stay on the ground. Try to force them down as far as you can. The reason why I like the floor slides is that gravity kind of keeps those arms from coming forward like they do on the wall. So 10 of those, that's the floor slide. Next one's the Pretzel, okay? So let's start with the right leg going over the left. You kind of make this little pretzel looking thing. You can come down here like this. So knees at about hip height here. Knees at hip height. If you can grab your back leg, great. If you can't, that's okay. Let go. I'm going to grab my leg here. I'm going to put my palm on my knee here. I'm going to try to rotate through my thoracic spine. Okay, again, if you can't hold, you can kind of just spill off over like this. But you're trying to rotate through the T-spine here, okay? You might get a little bit of hip flexor stretch. You might get a little piriformis stretch. This one's kind of a all-encompassing stretch. And then you switch sides, kind of even it out. I don't rotate as well on this side. Breathe into it. Again, you can't hold on to that leg. Just kind of spill out over here on the side. Another way to do it is you can kind of manually think about it here. You're pulling your ribs, kind of bringing that shoulder across. Okay, so that's the Pretzel. Again, 30 seconds on each side. You don't have to be crazy with the timer. If it feels good, go for a little bit longer. Then the kneeling hip flexor stretch. This one's really subtle, okay? So you're going to be in this half kneeling position, and my hips are purposefully kind of set backwards, okay? And actually, let me switch sides here so you can actually see this hip. You're going to purposefully fire your glute, fire your hamstring, fire your quad, bring that hip forward, and then you're actually going to get into this hip flexor. And then hold it for like 5 or 6 seconds, then relax, so you're throwing those hips backwards, and then you're shooting those hips forward again. Breathe, it's really tight, especially sitting down so much these days, and then come back, okay? What we don't want to see is for people to kind of lean forward into the stretch and come forward like this, okay? We just want to have people have their hips back, bring it forward, really squeeze tight here, and then come back and relax. So a few pulses on each side, and then you'll switch sides. So hips are back, bring them forward, relax for a second, come at it again, maybe a few more reps on each side. And then you can do this for another few rounds, okay? 10 minutes might be 2 rounds or 3 rounds, depending on how much you spend with each exercise. But this is a great little mobility sequence for you in the middle of the day.